Okay, we'll call to order the regular meeting of the Batavia City Council for Monday, April 19th, 2021. I'd ask that you all please stand for a brief invocation to be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight, as we continue to meet as governments under confined conditions with the pandemic still with us, we are ever thankful for the many advances in vaccines and all the innovations that have been put forth, and we are very, very pleased with the spirit of cooperation that certainly has developed between the Kane County government and the city of Batavia and our neighboring communities as we do this and arrive at locations where we can administer the vaccine. We are thankful for the spirit of cooperation as developed, and we would hope that that can continue forth into the future. As always tonight, we want to remember those from our community who are serving on foreign soil in defense of the liberties of the United States of America, and we just ask that a special blessing be showered upon each one of these men and women as they go about their vital mission. Tonight, we ask for vision and understanding and perceptions by the members of the City Council as we discuss the items of business before us, knowing that in the hearts and minds of each of us, we are here to do what we feel is in the very best interest of the community. We just ask tonight that a blessing be showered upon our community for good health and for wisdom and for a vision that we will come from forth and develop a greater and grander Batavia in the days ahead. We ask for all these blessings. Amen. Alderman Miller, you want to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ask the city clerk to please call the roll.
Miller.
Here.
Rosado.
Here.
Beck. Beck.
Here.
Knopp.
Here.
Chansett.
Here.
Wolf.
Here.
Barron.
Here.
O'Brien.
Here.
Callahan.
Here.
Meitzler. Meitzler.
Here.
Malay.
Here.
Ewer.
Here.
Cerrone.
Here.
McFadden.
Here.
That's everyone.
So we have the roll call shows we have 14 aldermen present and counted for this evening meeting, so we have a full quorum. I appreciate that very much. Moving then to item number 4, the reminder from myself to please, if you're going to speak to the city council, that you use one of the microphones in the room because this is all being recorded and will be replayed on BATV and could be available for public viewing. So I just want to encourage us all to do that. And moving then to item number 5, are items to be removed, added, or changed on tonight's agenda. Does anybody have anything? I'm not aware of anything. Anybody on the line have anything? Okay, I guess we don't need any motions there. We're moving then to item number 6, which is presentation of tonight's consent agenda. Alderman Chansett, would you present this, please?
Indeed, Your Honor. The consent agenda reads as follows. To accept and place on file the Committee of the Whole minutes for February 23rd, 2021, the Planning Commission minutes for March 17th, 2021, Historic Preservation Commission minutes for March 22nd, 2021, and approvals. The April 16th, 2021 payroll in the amount of $922,586.22. The accounts payable check register in the amount of $2,959,680.72. City Council minutes for April 5th, 2021. Approval. Committee of the Whole executive session minutes for February 16th, 2021. Ordinance 21-24, amending the text of zoning code for Title 10 relating to signs in the DMU downtown mixed use district, City of Batavia applicant. In Ordinance 21-25, amending the text of the zoning code. Your Honor, I would move that we approve the consent agenda as read.
Second. Knopp.
Moved by Alderman Chansett, second by Alderman Knapp for the approval of the consent agenda as presented and read. Any discussion? Questions? Not, the clerk please call the roll.
Chansett.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Callahan.
Aye.
Meitzler.
Aye.
Malay.
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
Saron,
Aye.
McFadden,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Rosato,
Aye.
Beck,
Aye.
Knopf.
Aye.
Motion for the approval of the consent agenda is approved by a vote of 14 yes, no nos, none absent. Okay, moving to item 7 on our agenda is matters from the public for items that are not on the agenda. Do we have anybody this evening?
We do not.
Okay, nobody online and nobody in the audience. All right. Moving to item number 8, we're very honored tonight to have Lisa Hitchens, the superintendent of schools. Dr. Hitchens is here tonight to tell us about the master facilities plan that the school district is considering. So we'll turn this over to you, Dr. Hitchens.
Thank you. I really appreciate the time. I did tell Laura I have the 3-minute version, and I also have like a 9-hour version, so I'll go closer to the 3 minutes than the 9 hours. But we've been planning for over 2 years talking about our facilities, and this is our second iteration of a facilities committee, this most recent one, and we've almost been working for 2 hours plus, or 2 years plus the 18 months before that with a different facilities committee. And what I wanted to talk about, you guys do right now have your Fox River corridor study going on through Hitchcock Design in a partnership with the Batavia Park District. And we're going through a similar process right now where your process involves analyzing the situation, collecting feedback, and then creating a vision. Then after you have that vision, then implementing it. And we are doing a parallel study right now with our facilities. So we've been analyzing for 2 years. Our core team of stakeholders, there's about 20-some staff members, board members, community members, and we've been really looking at different options. And now it's time to get a little feedback because whatever vision we have for our facilities in Batavia, they should reflect the values of the community. So I'm here to ask people to log on to our website and look at the information that's there and take a survey and let us know what you value in the community as far as the school facilities. If I could just give the 1-minute overview of what you're going to see on the website when you go there. So the website is bps101.net/BOFT, B-O-F-T, which stands for Building Our Future Together. And we're going to walk you through on that website just the really high-level view of what you need to know before you take this survey. And there's like a 5-minute version, or there's a 3-hour version, or a 9-hour version, depending on how deep you want to dig. There's 11 videos that some of them are really short, and they just give the overview of what you need to know about the planning process, the current conditions of our facilities, the educational needs, our enrollment trends, but then there's a lot of supporting information, other videos, other studies that we've done to be able to, so you can be as informed as you would like to be before you take that survey. So the real high level here is that I already talked about the planning process. It's been going on for several years now, and this is probably the longest time we've gone in Batavia's history without a major facilities plan, a vision for our facilities. Our facilities team does a great job of prioritizing the needs right now as far as our deferred maintenance, but they really would like to have a vision of what's the end goal here. And so we hired our own architecture firm, DLR Group, and they have done facilities conditions reporting for us, and we really were surprised to find that out of our 8 schools, we have 8 schools, the newest is 20 years old, the oldest is more than 60 years old. And what we found through those facilities conditions reporting is that of our 8 schools, 3 are poor and 5 are fair. None of the schools were rated as good or excellent, and really that is a challenge for us. We would like to do better because our schools, we know, are a source of pride because of what's happening within those schools, but we also need to make sure that the facilities match what we're doing within the schools, and that also that they don't fall too far into disrepair. So as far as our facility planning, we're also looking at our educational needs, and things have changed. I started teaching at Batavia High School in 1994, and I have to tell you, quite a bit has changed in our expectations for the way that students learn and the innovative programming that our students deserve, and that we recognize students have different paths, and our facilities don't always support that. If you go on our website, you'll learn about our enrollment trends, which are, I think the conclusion there is that it's really hard to predict enrollment. And we have to have facilities that could adapt to different variables. So even though birth rates are down, it does look like we're trending down. That will stabilize, but as more families move in, we know that families move to Batavia because of the schools. And every year we have more students that move in than move out, but the birth rate still isn't what it used to be. And so we do believe that for a little while, the enrollment will be declining, and we need to make sure that we have facilities that could respond to that. On the website, we do have the core team has been wrestling with different options. And one of the things that they want to recommend to the board is in this vision is really what is the right number of elementary schools for Batavia. So that's one way that you can chime in, because we want to know what the community values as far as neighborhood schools versus let's be as efficient as we can with the number of classrooms. And so you'll see the two different options there, and we'll give you the pros and cons of each, because one option is let's look at those 6 elementaries, and the core team did come to the conclusion, the consensus was that it makes more sense to replace some of those older elementaries. It would be more efficient in the long run if we did that. So do we replace them, or do we reduce by 1 and replace some of them but reduce by 1? So that's one of the challenges that the core team is putting out there to the community. So we would like you to chime in, but if you would watch some of those videos and bring yourself up to speed. And then on that website that I mentioned, there is a survey for you to take. Then after we get the community feedback, we will put that all into our presentation to the Board of Education and say, here's what we recommend, and here's what the community has to say about our facilities. And then the hard work will begin when we actually have to put the implementation plan together. But for now, we really would like to get everyone in the community, whether you have a student in the system or not, we would like everybody to chime in. And so that's why I'm here tonight. So any channels that you can use, any platforms that you have, any connections that you have, if you want to let them know that through April 27th, we really would like their feedback. I don't know, maybe if you have a Friday video message or something that you send out, maybe you can mention it there. But really the goal is to make sure that the community has voice in this process. So that is what my ask is, that you would all join me in taking that survey and also help me to share that message with others.
Well, I would just chime in here and say that I think it's very important for you to gain the community input that you are trying very hard to seek, and that should be your number one priority to get that. And, you know, I've had some interesting experiences the last several months here with the pandemic, because one of the realities that's hit me right between the eyes is the number of senior citizens that we now have in Batavia, given the fact that we now have 6 senior living communities in the borders of Batavia. And so one of the things that's hit us is we got a lot of those folks that have no computer experience, don't know how to use a computer, can't read it, can't operate it, and they're kind of a lost generation, as some of them have told me. And so that's one thing that's out there, but certainly I think the vast majority know how to use the computer, but there's a group that don't. So I don't know how you should come up with some way to kind of communicate, I think, with those folks, because past experiences dictated to me that most of those folks do go and vote. If you're going to have a referendum, you need to have that built on it. I guess the one thing I would like to offer is that when you get your final plan put together, I'd invite you to maybe come back with your staff and appear here at maybe either a city council meeting or one of our work sessions and just go through it and make a presentation about it, and then let the 14 members of the city council chime in and tell you what they may think about it. I mean, I think they'll probably be generally very much in favor, but maybe there'll be a few points that they'd like to have you fine tune or something. But I think if you're in search of true community input, I like to think this city council has got a pretty good ear to the community and is speaking the voice of what the citizens really want.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I appreciate the opportunity.
Let us know, you got all this you're going through, but, but how many months down the road that might be, but we're gonna be here, we're not going anyplace, obviously, so please feel free to call upon us, and we'll try to work with you on this and try to fine tune something for us.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of planning that'll happen even after the board adopts the vision. When we start planning, we would value your partnership there, definitely.
Right. Does anybody on the council want to add anything to what I've just said?
I
Well,
think
we
someone
thank you.
asked a question online, though. When I was talking, I saw a question pop up. I just can't read it.
Oh, it was
It was
not related.
it was a side note? Okay,
was a
so
side
I was
note.
having a side conversation while I was talking? Okay, all right.
Never.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, moving then to item number 9, which is opening of bids scheduled for 7:30. Now, I'm told as long as I'm after 7:30, I'm legal with this, for the former railroad parcel south of Bernadette Lane. Cora, do you have this one, or who's got this one?
I believe Scott
I've got
is
that
on.
one.
Scott's got it?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Thank you. This is a bid opening for the parcels that we have on south of Bernadette and west of Brandywine Circle. We received in a timely manner 2 bids. One was for parcel 1 and the other was for an unknown parcel. So I'm going to open those right now, as we're required to open these at a council meeting. Actually, this one's been sealed twice. This one is for parcel 1, which is the northernmost parcel. And the bid is for $1,001 from Daniel Mocher of 908 Bernadette Lane. So that's our first bid. And then we have a second bid for an unknown parcel. And this one is for parcel 2, so this is the second northernmost parcel adjacent to 1210 Brandywine Circle. The bid is for $50 for that parcel. So these are the 2 bids we've received out of the 5 parcels. We will review them, and then we'll be presenting these back to the council for an actual recommendation to accept the bids or not accept the bids.
Thank you. Does
Thank you.
anybody on the council have any questions on that? No. More to come, as they say on the Tonight Show. All right, moving then to item number 10, which is proclamation for Motorcycle Awareness Month for May of 2021. And Alderman Chanzit, do you have this to read, please?
I do indeed. Your Honor, a proclamation. Whereas motorcycle riding is a popular form of recreation and transportation for thousands of people across the state and nation. And whereas motorcycles are a common and economical means of transportation that reduces fuel consumption and road wear and contributes in a significant way to the relief of traffic and parking congestion. And whereas the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Motorcycle Safety Foundation have named May as Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. And whereas states and motorcycle organizations across this country will be conducting a variety of activities to promote the importance of motorcycle awareness and safely sharing the roads with motorcycles and remind riders to make themselves more visible to others. And whereas the city of Batavia wishes to promote the safety campaign of the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration in their effort to ensure the safety and well-being of all. And whereas all highway users should unite in the safe sharing of roadways throughout the city of Batavia, Kane County, and Illinois with all others on the roadways. Now, therefore, I, Jeffrey Day Shelkey, Mayor of the City of Batavia, Illinois, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2021 as Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month and urge all motor vehicle operators to join in this effort to keep our highway safe. Your Honor, I would move that we approve the proclamation as read.
Second, Wolf.
Moved by Alderman Chanzit, second by Alderman Wolf, for the approval of the Motorcycle Awareness Safety Month for May of 2021. Any further discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Chanzit.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Callahan. Callahan.
Aye.
Meitzler.
Aye.
Malay.
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
Saron.
Aye.
McFadden.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Rosado,
Aye.
Beck,
Aye.
Knopf.
Aye.
The motion's approved, 14 yes, no nos. We have somebody here from the motorcycle group, don't we? So if you'd come up, and I'll present you.
No, I don't. I was only the president a couple times.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, the next one we have is another proclamation for Arbor Day 2021. Alderman Chanzit?
Your Honor, a proclamation. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And whereas trees reduce erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas Batavia has been recognized as Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation and deserves to continue its tree planting ways. Now, therefore, I, Jeffrey D. Schalke, Mayor of the City of Batavia, Illinois, do hereby proclaim Friday, April 30th, 2021 as Arbor Day in the City of Batavia, and urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the hearts and promote the well-being of this and future generations on this 19th day of April, 2021. Signed by Jeffrey D. Schalke, Mayor. I move that we approve the proclamation as read.
Second, Rosado.
Moved by Alderman Chanzit, second by Alderman Rosado for the approval of the Arbor Day proclamation. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Chanzit,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Barron,
Aye.
O'Brien,
Aye.
Callahan,
Aye.
Meitzler,
Aye.
Malay,
Aye.
Ewer,
Aye.
Saron,
Aye.
McFadden,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Rosado,
Aye.
Beck,
Aye.
Knopf.
Aye.
Motion's approved, 14 yes, no nos, none absent. Do we have somebody here to receive the act?
I don't think we do, but Mayor, I would like to mention that our Batavia Environmental Commission, each year in celebration of Arbor Day, puts trees, saplings outside of City Hall for people to come and get for free. And it's hundreds of trees, which then each year will be planted in our community. And so I just wanted to say a special thank you to the Batavia Environmental Commission and specifically to Anna Baker, who organizes that event each year. This year, our trees included the majestic red oak and bur oak. Those are both native to the region and great options for planting here in Batavia.
And they'll be here on Friday the 30th? Is that the day they're going to be picked?
They were actually here last Friday for people to pick up.
Okay. Are they still going to be here for a while? Because I'm sure once we've talked about this tonight, some folks are going to call tomorrow and want to know about the trees, so.
They typically go pretty quickly, so
Yeah.
the event was here and gone, but we did post it on our social media that they were out there.
Okay. I'll just put this over here for the moment. All right, we'll move to item 12. We're very honored tonight to have the Batavia Main Street Group, and Beth Walker, are you here? I think you're back there, okay. And we're honored to have the Executive Director of Batavia Main Street here with us, and turn it over to you.
Hi, things are going well at Main Street. We're in the process of planning our 26th season of the Farmers Market. Right now, as it stands, we have about 45 vendors per week, which is up about 12 vendors from previous years, so we're really happy with the success of that. The indoor market has been really good this year, thanks to BEI and letting us use the big space. We have an average of 25 vendors there, so that continues through May. We're also planning for cocktails in the park, which will be July 31st. Block Party, September 5th, and Bat Fest, which is October 30th. So far in Batavia in this last month, House of 423 opened last Friday. That's a women's boutique that is at 10 East Wilson Street, behind Ruby Jane. Over here, Craft and Smoke opened in the North Island Plaza. Bocaditos will be moving to the Newton House, and Haley B's Bakery will be moving into the Bocadito space. So that's all I have for you today, but I have Jamie Sam, who is the chair of the Boardwalk Shots, and she's going to talk about that, unless you guys have questions for me first.
Any questions of Beth? No, I guess not. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Jamie?
Good evening. I asked Beth if I could come here today and bring a couple guests with us. As I'm sure you've noticed if you've traveled through town, we are currently building 2 additional boardwalk shops for the 2021 season. So the last 2 Fridays, we've had our friends from Batavia Public Schools Building Trades Program come down and bring the kits that they built on site at the high school. They brought them down to the boardwalk shop space, and they have been working on site building those. So it's been a really great partnership working with those students. And then on the weekends, on Saturdays, as well as a couple weeknights, we have other volunteers from the community come and assist us with the build as well. So we will have a total of 10 this year. Tonight, I wanted to bring a few of our alumni just to talk briefly. You guys have heard myself, Bob, and Beth talk about the project. I'm sure you've read some of the articles about the project. You've been down at the boardwalk shops. But I thought it might be nice to hear from some of the successful business owners who experienced the first year with us and now have moved on to bigger and better things. And then next month, I will be bringing a couple of our new businesses just to introduce themselves to you guys as well, just briefly. So I have Jenny and Susie from Light and Pine, and then Max Mong from the Unborn Granola. So they are all located at the Wilson Street Mercantile at 222 East Wilson Street. And they're just going to briefly talk about their experience both at the boardwalk as well as growing into their new spaces. So, ladies first.
Hello, thank you so much for having us tonight. I'm Jenny Zilke, and I'm Suzanne Ray. And we're just really grateful. The boardwalk shops have been such an amazing opportunity. We both own separate businesses, Illuminate Space and Real Happy Space, for about 5 years. But we were just in successful online businesses, but never where we could just take the jump to, rent a large space and run a shop on our own. So we decided to join together and form Light and Pine Collective and do the Batavia Boardwalk Shops. And because it was such an incubator design and just a small scale weekend, actual small space, we were able to find what it was like to make all our inventory and keep a shop stocked and run a shop. And we quadrupled our business, I would say, and have been able then to move on to this larger full-time space. We both left our full-time jobs to do this, and we just feel really grateful, especially during 2021, to do all that. So we're grateful for Batavia and the program that really no one else has right now locally. So we were glad to do that, and it's been successful.
I would just add that for me personally, the benefit of the boardwalk shops was the mentorship of the Main Street, particularly Bob Hansen, Jamie Sam, and Beth Walker all were served as mentors to us. They helped kind of bridge the gap from being an online business owner to coming into Batavia and what all that entails. They helped us find a space. They connected us with local, building owners so that we could find an actual shop, and that was extremely helpful to us. And that's all I've got to say now.
It's just easier to talk. I'm Max Mong. I just want to thank everyone here for giving us all the time to share with you our experiences, but genuinely just to thank you because, you're really providing something that a lot of the other townships just simply aren't doing. And this is very much, it sounds like a cliche, but it's very much the American dream. You have so many talented people in your community, right under your noses, that are, wondering whether they should take that step and pursue their passion and follow their dreams. And they just don't have the resources, they don't have the network, they don't have the infrastructure in place to facilitate that. And what you've done with the boardwalk shops is you've truly enabled so many people like myself, Jenny, Susie, to just kind of pursue their dreams. And I think we're all really grateful for that opportunity. But I think the leadership, Jamie, Bob, this was definitely something that, that they put their heart and soul into, which gave, I think, all of us a lot of confidence as well, even though it was our first year. Jamie and Bob really believed in it, and we felt like this was an all-hands-on-deck effort, and I think it really helped, in the climate that we were in. It gave us a lot of hope. So I think that I would just say continue, keep doing this, because it's really important. Thank you.
Well, I certainly, on behalf of the city council, thank all of you for what you've done as far as your commitment goes to Batavia, and for kind of showing the rest of the world what this can be and how successful it can be. And certainly, I think we've set the stage here for some interesting days ahead, and certainly Jamie and her leadership in this whole thing has been a driving force that really has helped it come forth. I haven't had a chance yet to share this tidbit with the city council, but I'll do it now because it kind of involves you guys. Last week, and don't ask me why, but within 2 days' time last week, I was contacted by 2 different Hollywood movie productions. And they wanted to talk about potentially coming to Batavia and filming some films or scenes from movies that they're working on. And so I told them, I said, well, I can't wave a wand here. This has to be officially approved, so if this is going to go anyplace, you're going to have to come back and come to what we call one of our committee of the whole meetings and come in and tell the aldermen what's your movie about and how you're going to do it, and let them find and make a judgment as to whether or not they're going to do it. But I said, what in Batavia are you interested in? And the first thing they said is, well, River Street and the boardwalk shops and that Saturday morning, he called it art festival that you have there on the middle of the street. And I said, well, that's a farmer's market. Well, okay, whatever it is, great scenery there. We think we could do some really interesting. So I said, well, what's going to be the background of the movie? He says it's going to be the story of 4 girls on bicycles who take a trip across the United States. And we think Batavia would make nice scenery. He said another place we're looking, and I thought this was, we're looking at the Thornton Stone Quarry down there. If you go on 80-90, right before you get into Indiana, there's this huge hole in the ground. Well, they wanted to take the movie down in there for some reason. And they also thought that there may be some opportunities to film something around Brookfield Zoo over, and they said there's a high school right next to the zoo, and that could make for some interesting scenes and whatever have you. So I don't know where this is going. It's a Netflix production, so it would be, one of those that would be, you don't know what the content's going to be or how far we're going to go with some of the activities. So I'm sure that's why we have to let the city council hear about it, and they'll be the yay or nay. But certainly if they call back and say they're coming, I'll make sure that Beth and the chamber and everybody hears about it, so you can all be here at the meeting too when we have the discussion about it. But we may be on Netflix here with you guys one day. Jamie, do you want to say something?
Yeah, so thank you guys for coming and talking briefly. So again, that's just 2 of our 8 businesses that we had last year, and now 7 of them have locations in Batavia, which is super successful. And again, next month, we'll bring a couple of our businesses that are, if you drive past the boardwalk on my way here tonight, Garrett, who owns Farm Dog Flowers, one of our new businesses, was out there. I don't even know what they were doing. They have been out there every time I've driven past. He's painting, he's cutting wood, he's installing things. I am so excited. The group this year have been out there definitely transforming the spaces into their own individual space. So it's very exciting. So thank you guys again. Thank you for your support as the city council and the community, just for supporting this project, this program, and these businesses, and then continuing to support them as they move on to bigger spaces. I'm going to introduce, right, you guys are next. So Austin and Wendy are here with some information for a project we're all working on. to program Water Street for the summer. As you guys know, we already shut those streets down. So they're going to speak a little bit about what's happening there. So, thanks.
Good evening. Wendy and I are here representing a group of passionate and awesome Batavians who are working diligently in cooperation with the Chamber and, of course, Main Street to try to engage the community a little bit more on our designated outdoor dining area over there on Water Street. So last year, in response to COVID, the city does what we do in Batavia. We roll up our sleeves and we make things happen, and we created a great outdoor dining area and helped out a lot of the restaurants and a lot of the businesses. And this year, a group of about 15 to 20 Batavia residents, of which there are a number of in this room and on the call here, are participating and really trying to engage some programming so we can make it welcoming and more enjoyable for everybody in the community. So Wendy's going to talk a little bit about what the street's going to look like and some of the programming.
So as part of the, do you mind if I do this? Thank you. Good evening, thank you. Part of the, what we will need to do is to have an area where we'll, put on like different events and shows. And that means that we would be putting a stage up, which the plans have been submitted for permit, and it would be located closer to Wilson Street. And there is an area just west there is a transformer there, but that services the lights that are above the street. However, it is not enough power in the event that we had a band or a microphone or speakers or things like that. So what we're asking for is to have a little bit more power there so that we can have things like that happen. There have been a lot of great ideas tossed around in our committee. Many. I have a whole list that I could read to you, but there are some really great ones. The first and foremost that would be happening would be on May 21st, and that would be with the After Image Film Festival in cooperation with Water Street Studios. Well, they will be showing a film, on the street, and maybe we'll have the popcorn depot come around, and they're going to need power for that. Another idea was a silent disco where people wear headphones and there's DJs, 3 different styles of music to choose from to be able to dance out on the streets. We were thinking about doing chefs from local chefs, like Meet Your Local Chef, to give the restaurants in town an opportunity to generate revenue at their restaurants and come up and talk a little bit about the restaurant, maybe do a little demonstration or give some advice about some cooking or things like that, and maybe share a little taste of their food, or maybe even have a tent available on the street to purchase some of their food. We thought about a talent show, including the high school, because I guess we weren't able to do that in this past year. Many. We'd like to have the police and the fire department over to touch a truck, for the kids, or maybe the policemen and the firemen can talk about safety items. A fashion show. I've spoken to Mary Marconi of Special Occasions, and we'd also love for the other retail businesses in town to come up and do a fashion show. So all these things are going to require us to need more power, and that's why we're here, and we appreciate your consideration.
And so this was not an item that we budgeted for this year, but the electric department has researched what it would cost and how soon we could do this. It is a little over $5,000 is what would be required to improve the electric over there in order to be able to have amplification and the other types of power needs that they addressed here. And there is still sufficient funds left within that economic development grant from the state of Illinois, from which we had been providing resources for the boardwalk shops. Also, that was the money that we used in order to provide COVID-19, three rounds of grants for our local businesses for COVID-19 grants. And so that would be a funding source that could be utilized, but wanted to bring this back to you because it is not something that we had budgeted for in 2021.
So you're suggesting we need a budget amendment? Is that what you're?
No, I don't think that we need a budget amendment at this point, because as long as the fund balance is at the end of the year, we're fine there. If in fact it were to go over, then we would need a budget amendment. But because this fund has been used for economic development, we just wanted to make sure from City Council's perspective that we were utilizing it in a manner that's consistent with the goals and policies of the City Council.
So do I have any comments from the city council on this?
Your Honor, this
Just
is
a minute.
Alderman Wolf.
Yeah, just a minute. Alderman Barron?
The first thing that comes to mind for me is, are we gonna get the same requests for River Street?
They already have electric there.
Okay.
Yes.
To kind of do the same thing, that if they wanted to have a band that came out, that would be able to power the band? Kind of like some of the things that they're asking for.
So, I know that we have to bring out spider boxes for, the issue on if River Street doesn't exist the same because of the proximity to the front doors of the businesses. On South Water Street, you're so far away from any building where the stage would be, that's the need for the electricity there. So on North River Street, if there was a business that wanted to sponsor having a band, that business is in such close proximity that they would be able to do that themselves. So for instance, River's Edge has live music all the time. Why am I blocking on John Hamill's Bar Evolution? They have live music events there all the time, and they have sufficient electric to power those things. They've done like karaoke nights in the past over at Bar Evolution.
Hey, Laura, I believe when River Street was designed, that we ensured there was going to be ample power to, for a load to take care of whatever was going to come up regarding bands and music and things of that nature, even like coolers and things like that.
Right.
So I thought it was all in the design.
And maybe Jamie or Beth would have a comment on that as well.
With River Street, there is some extra electric, like Laura mentioned. We bring out the spider boxes for the farmers market, and then for any of the events, things like Oktoberfest, where you have a big stage, 3 days, lots and lots of stuff happening. You do have to get a generator and additional electricity. But I think what's in place now, just to address Jen's question, on River Street, I don't think it's a concern at this point, in comparison to the programming that they're talking about for Water Street. I think Water Street doesn't have anything, so nothing else can really happen without that. Like the small amount that they have, it's so stationary to one location that this would be able to allow it to extend more down the street, allowing Water Street Studios to participate in that, and hopefully, we have the vacant enticing cuisine space that hopefully will be filled with something amazing. They'd be able to utilize that as well. So I believe what we have on River Street, well, of course, more would be fabulous someday. There is some there that makes it accessible to programming, but someday put that on our list to add more electric over there too.
Alderman Wolf, did you want to make a comment?
Yeah, I would just say that I am in support of, doing this. I think, we planned out River Street because we knew we were going to use that for events like this. We didn't plan out Water Street like that because we hadn't really envisioned using it like this. I think with having that money still available there, and for it being used for the ability for businesses in town to expand their options for seating and service, I think this is just, to me, kind of a no-brainer that if we were to do that, this does provide that, in the easiest way we can for our electric department can do it in-house, then we're getting it done as soon as we can and we know it's done right.
So are we looking for a motion to be made here by the council to approve this?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
But
I
I
just
would,
wanted-
I think that you bring back a plan with a dollar amount and whatever has to be done, bring it to city council at the cow meeting, and we can, look at it in detail there and then say yes to it.
Sounds
If,
good.
if everybody's okay with that.
Sounds good.
well, I would echo what Alderman Wolf said. I mean, just this past 2020, we have businesses clawing back from COVID-19, and if we can help them in any way to bring people into town and have confidence in the businesses that are here, that when people come into town, they'll go to those businesses.
Exactly.
I would definitely get behind that.
Thank you.
So if we can get you to put together a little proposal, sharing what you need and the costs that Laura's outlined. We'll bring it to the next committee of the whole meeting, and hopefully then at the next city council meeting, we can get you approved.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Beth.
Right. Okay, moving to item 13, which is Resolution 21-033-R, authorizing execution of access agreement between Fifth Third Bank National Association for One North Washington LLC and the City of Batavia, Illinois. And who's got this one to talk about?
Your Honor, I have that.
Is it Chance? Alderman Chance?
Yes, indeed.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Indeed. So according to the terms of the third amended and restated redevelopment agreement between Stoughton and One North Washington and the city, the developer and its lender are required to enter into an agreement that provides the city with access to the redevelopment site for the purpose of completing the project in the event that the developer does default. And the resolution before us seeks authorization for execution of that agreement. As we learned in committee, basically the lender, Fifth Third Bank, is asking to be a party to this agreement. So in case the project is not completed or they need to step in, they need access rights in order to do so. Laura, am I leaving anything out there?
No.
I would move then that we approve Resolution 21-33, authorizing an execution of an access agreement between Fifth Third Bank N.A., One North Washington LLC, and the City of Batavia.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Chancet, second by Alderman O'Brien for the approval of Resolution 21-033-R, authorizing the execution of the access agreement between Third Fifth Bank National Association for One North Washington Avenue LLC and the City of Batavia, Illinois. Any further discussion from the council?
Your Honor, I'm just going to say this is a housekeeping vote. I mean, everything else has been done. I believe this will be the last vote, and then we can get moving with the project. So I'm definitely behind this vote in a positive.
Anybody else?
Your Honor, I as well.
Go ahead.
I also recognize that the vote did not come out of committee unanimous. Not going to lie, I was a little bit disappointed. The nature of this part is meant to be a safeguard should there be a problem. So it's the kind of thing I would ask for additional support on this.
Anybody else in the council? Alderman Rosado?
Yes, and I agree with Dan. This is a housekeeping issue, and this is best for our community. We want this.
Anybody else? Okay, we have a motion and second on the floor for the approval of Resolution 21-033-R. Ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Chansett?
Aye.
Wolf?
Aye.
Barron?
Aye.
O'Brien?
Aye.
Callahan?
No.
Meitzler?
No.
Malay?
No.
Ewer?
No.
Saron?
Aye.
McFadden?
Aye.
Miller?
No.
Rosado?
Aye.
Beck?
No.
Knopp?
No.
7-7. It's
I vote
tied.
aye.
Okay.
Okay, moving to 14, which is Resolution 21-036-R, authorizing execution of contract with Performance Construction for 2021 Ward 1 Storm Sewer Reconstruction. Who's got this one? Alderman Wolf?
I do, Your Honor. This is
Go ahead.
Alderman Wolf. Yes, this is the contract with Performance Construction for Phase 4 of the 2021 Ward 1 Stormwater Sewer Reconstruction. This is a plan that we've done quite a bit on already, 3 phases of it on the far east side. This will be upgrading large diameter storm sewers, water main replacements, curb and gutter, sidewalk, and full depth pavement replacement and restorations, among other items. Expect to probably get this completed late in August of this year. So this is just another step in our never-ending battles with trying to solve some of the storm water problems that we have in many different places of the city, and this is one that we've done quite a bit on. And hopefully, this is the end of this phase of work over there. So, does anybody have any questions about this?
I'd like to make a comment, if I may.
Go ahead.
We've been talking and having a meeting and having some, deep discussions about our electric utility and the clean air that is required and talking about, saving the planet in essence. This here is what is happening because of climate change. I've been saying that for the last 10 years probably. And this is definitely a function of climate change. And so I just want to say one last time, I mean, in the first ward, there's a great deal of flooding that happens every year. The 100-year flood happens once a year now. And it's happening throughout the city of Batavia, and it's now become kind of a quality of life issue for the residents in our city. And it's, we're dealing with the roadways right now and pooling water in our roadways. And we're keeping it where we know that the water will be seeping through the cracks. It's not taking all the water away. We were unable to do that financially, but we're putting a big dent in it. But the next big thing that's going to come to our city is going to be on private property. It's going to be the residents' properties. That's where there's a great deal of flooding happening right now throughout our city, and we're unable to address it because it's private property and it's a financial burden. But I honestly believe, we should start looking into, and it's been brought before us, but it'll come up again, that we should be looking into a stormwater utility so we can proactively monitor this and attack it in an organized fashion and not just as it comes at us, throw money at it. So that's the comments I wanted to make, and I think it's going to be important for our residents and their quality of life that we start to be more proactive in the pursuit of managing our stormwater.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Okay, if there's no other comments, I'll make the motion that we approve Resolution 21-30-R, authorizing execution of contract with Performance Construction for the 2021 Ward 1 Stormwater Sewer Reconstruction for Phase 4 project for an amount not to exceed $1,260,127.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Wolf, second by Alderman O'Brien for the approval of resolution 21-030-R for the execution of the stormwater system in Ward 1. Any further discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Wolf,
Aye.
Barron,
Aye.
O'Brien,
Aye.
Callahan,
Aye.
Meitzler,
Aye.
Malay,
Aye.
Ewer,
Aye.
Saron,
Aye.
McFadden,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Rosato,
Aye.
Beck,
Aye.
Knopp,
Aye.
Chansett.
Aye.
Motion's approved, 14 yes, no no's, none absent. Okay, moving to 13, which is the waiver of formal bidding for the purchase of a 2021 Avent 760 tractor and attachments. Who's got this one?
I do, Your Honor.
Alderman Wolf?
Thank you. This is both 15 and 16. The first is the waive of formal bidding. I guess I'd like to just go through what we're looking at purchasing before we say we're going to waive the bidding on it. It's what is commonly referred to as the little tractor that runs around downtown with a brush on the front of it, cleans snow off sidewalks, and this one will actually be able to be used for a lot of different things because of attachments that are now available for this type of equipment. It's replacing a piece of equipment that we've had, I believe, since 2005. So it does get a lot of use, and this would make this vehicle not only used in the winter for snow cleanup work, but also be able to use for a lot of different things during the year. which I think will be a very good thing for the city to be able to use this year round and not just, in the winter. So with that being said, I would ask for us to waive formal bidding on the purchase of a 2021 Avant 760i tractor and attachments.
Second.
In the form of motion?
Yes, that's a motion.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Wolf, second by Alderman O'Brien for the waiver of formal bidding for the 2021 Avent 760i tractor and attachments. Any further discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Wolf,
Aye.
Barron,
Aye.
O'Brien,
Aye.
Callahan,
Aye.
Meitzler.
Aye.
Malay,
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
Saron,
Aye.
McFadden,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Rosato,
Aye.
Beck,
Aye.
Knopp,
Aye.
Chanzit.
Aye.
Motion for waiving formal bidding is approved, 14 yes, no no's, none absent. Okay, moving to 16, which is Resolution 21-032-R, authorizing a purchase of a 2021 Avent 760i tractor and multiple attachments from Alta Equipment Company for an amount of $95,647.92. Alderman Wolf, do you have this?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. Thank you. One of the things I wanted to bring up at this point in the discussion on this tonight is also that it was budgeted amount for this was $150,000, and it's coming in at just under 100. I believe that, with the package that we can get through the GSA Purchasing Cooperative, we get a really good price on this. And I think that this type of tractor, with all the equipment that they have, will get used for a lot more. So I think we're actually getting even more for our money than we would had we spent $150,000 on another piece of equipment and maybe not gotten all of the attachments that we can get with this one. So I think this is going to be a really good thing for the city, and we'll go through and see how long this one lasts. I believe everything that I read on it is this is a very good, purchase for the city with this type of equipment and all the attachments that it has. Does anybody have any questions?
Just another comment, they did give us the attachments with the price with the GSA Purchasing Cooperative, which they didn't need to do, and which was good of them. And the tractor that it's replacing is 2005, so it is at its end of life. So it's definitely a yes vote on my part, and it's something we should be doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think with all the options that we're getting with this, again, it makes it much more useful for Public Works to have this year round. It won't just be parked when it's not being used for snow.
So Alderman Wolf, are you making the motion for the approval?
I will make the motion that we approve resolution 21-32-R, authorizing purchase of 2021 Avant 760 tractor with multiple attachments from Alta Equipment for $95,647.42.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Wolf, second by Alderman O'Brien for the approval of Resolution 21-032-R for the authorization to purchase the 2021 Advent 760i tractor, multiple attachments for $95,647.92. Any further discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Wolf,
Aye.
Barron,
Aye.
O'Brien,
Aye.
Callahan.
Aye.
Meitzler. Meitzler.
Aye.
Malay,
Aye.
Ewer,
Aye.
Saron,
Aye.
McFadden,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Rosato,
Aye.
Beck,
Aye.
Knopp,
Aye.
Chanzit.
Aye.
Okay, Resolution 21-032-R is approved, 14 yes, no no's, none absent. Moving to 17, which is Resolution 21-031-R, authorizing execution of renewal agreement with the Association for Individual Development for the Ride and Cane Program. Who's got this one?
Your Honor, I do.
Go ahead.
So the Ride and Cane program is a public transportation service that provides curb-to-curb bus taxi service for seniors 65 and older, for disabled individuals, and for those with low income who qualify for this service in Kane County. It operates 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. The current fare, it's $4 for the first 10 miles of the trip, and an additional $1.50 for each additional mile over 10 miles. It's administered by AID, who had received the initial grant. It's a partnership with Pace Suburban Bus, King County, local municipalities, as well as townships and social service agencies. They're operating as local sponsors. Our share for the city for administrative and operating costs is about $80,000 for the year. The agreement that we currently have expires in July. The staff is recommending that we do enter into the agreement, and we recognize now is a great time to promote this service. Maybe people are not aware that the service is aware, so we want to make sure people know about it. I would move that we approve Resolution 21-31R, authorizing execution of a renewal agreement with AID for the Ride and Cane program.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Moved by Alderman Jansit, second by Alderman Rosado for the approval of Resolution 21-031-R, renewing the Association for Individual Development Ride and Cane Agreement Program between the City of Batavia and AID and Pace Bus in Kane County. Any further discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Jansit,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Barron,
Aye.
O'Brien,
Aye.
Callahan,
Aye.
Meitzler,
Aye.
Malay,
Aye.
Ewer,
Aye.
Saron,
Aye.
McFadden,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Rosado,
Aye.
Beck,
Aye.
Knopf.
Aye.
Resolution 21-31-R is approved, 14 yes, no no's, none absent. Moving to 18, which is Resolution 21-034-R, authorizing execution of intergovernmental agreement by and between the City of Batavia, Illinois, and the County of Kane for utility cost payment and police and fire services at 500 North Randall Road. Who's got this one?
Your Honor, I do.
Okay.
So as of March, Kane County is leasing the former Sam's Club space at 501 North Randall Road. That's for the purpose of setting up the mass COVID-19 vaccination site. And so in support of the program, the city is providing payment for utilities and providing police and fire services as needed for their operations. The city can apply for some public assistance funding from FEMA for reimbursement of some of these costs. And so this intergovernmental agreement sort of memorializes the partnership that we have, the responsibilities necessary to help us apply for that reimbursement. Laura, did I leave anything out?
Nope, that's perfect.
Okay. I would move that we approve Resolution 21-34-R, authorizing an execution of an IGA with City of Batavia and Kane County for utility cost payment and police and fire protection services.
Second, Wolf.
Moved by Alderman Jansit, second by Alderman Wolf for the approval of Resolution 21-034-R for the intergovernmental agreement for police and fire and utility payments at 500 North Randall. Any further discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Jansit,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Barron,
Aye.
O'Brien,
Aye.
Callahan,
Aye.
Meitzler,
Aye.
Malay,
Aye.
Ewer,
Aye.
Saron,
Aye.
McFadden,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Rosado,
Aye.
Beck,
Aye.
Knopf.
Aye.
Motion for the approval of Resolution 21-034-R is approved, 14 yes, no no's, none absent. Moving to 19, the Administrator's Report. Laura?
Thank you, Mayor. Tomorrow, we are expecting delivery of our slow down signs for the year. And so once we have received those, we'll post on our website and social media as to how people can acquire those signs.
Are they the same design as last year's? or is it-
Yes, they are the same design as last year. So if you still have your sign that you kept from last year, certainly put it out there.
Same
They're-
color?
Yes, same color.
Okay.
Yes. yellow and black to draw people's attention and remind us to slow down as we're driving through our residential neighborhoods, especially as kids are now back to in-person school and are traveling to and from school. And as we approach the end of the school year, when it's going to be summertime and we're all going to be enjoying playing out in our yards, just to be cautious as we drive through our residential neighborhoods. A lot of activity going on with regard to the project that is a cooperation between the City of Batavia and the Park District to develop a master river plan for the Batavia portion of the Fox River. There will be a special COW meeting tomorrow night at 6:00 p.m., and that meeting will be facilitated by Hitchcock Design Group, the consultant hired to assist us with the Fox River Master Plan. And then in conjunction with that, tomorrow we will be launching a website which will be dedicated to providing the public with access to information about the project as things go along. And most importantly, that is where you'll be able to access the survey that we would like as many members of the public to submit their comments via that survey so that we can incorporate all of those opinions into the analysis that is being done about the various opportunities we'll have to create a vision for the Batavia Fox River corridor into the future. Also, tomorrow, under project status, I'd like to give a brief overview of the first quarterly report of our 2021 to 2023 Strategic Action Plan. There have been many activities on several of those items associated with that plan. I'm happy to say a lot of work is underway. In community and economic development, we are, the staff is reviewing the submittal for the Winding Creek project on McKee Street, the old Landmeyer farm. We anticipate meeting with the developer once all of the staff's comments have been assembled. The bids for the demolition of the home at 916 Park Street have been received by staff, and we'll be presenting a recommendation to City Council on accepting a bid for the work shortly. We're also beginning again to work on annexing those areas of our community that are surrounded islands that have not yet been incorporated into the city of Batavia. Letters have been sent to property owners in the northeast area. And also changes to the peddler, solicitor, food vendor ordinances are nearly complete and will be presented for approval once the ordinances have been finalized. In Public Works, the work on the next phase of Main Street project has begun. Crews will be working along Batavia Avenue, installing new storm sewers, and it's anticipated that the entire project will be complete in late May or early June. There is another phase of the project for which the City of Batavia has received federal funding that would reconstruct the road from Van Nortwerk over to Randall Road, but it is not anticipated that work on that project would begin until 2024 or possibly 2025 season. The city's annual sidewalk program is being combined with the roadway resurfacing program this year, and preparations are underway, and the combined project is anticipated to be let for bidding in early to midsummer. And we are currently receiving bids for inventory of the electric utilities power poles, and conceptual design alternatives for the Mahoney Creek tributary Kirk Road stormwater basin have been developed and are currently under review by engineering. And that's all I have, unless anybody has any questions for me.
Any questions?
Laura?
Yes,
Go ahead.
Alderman Callahan?
Two things real quick regarding Main Street. One of the residents who lives in one of the areas that their yard was disturbed last year, he said some of it's growing in haphazardly and kind of poorly. I know that it was mentioned that more of the discussion of the kind of the resodding and all that would take place this spring, but he didn't know if there was a timeline for that, and I wanted to give him a little more information.
The restoration work only began last week, and so, but it is anticipated to be completed by the end of May.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, he didn't know if it was even if it was going to happen or if that was something that he needed to do. And I was pretty sure that was still a punch list item, but
It is.
before I told him. Yeah.
Yes, unfortunately, unlike the Prairie Street construction, due to delays on the Main Street construction, the contractor was not able to move into that restoration phase until this spring.
Okay, thank you. I will let him know. And then the second one is kind of timely for the discussion from Main Street tonight. The city's been invited for a meeting tomorrow with the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for the Planning's Consortium on placemaking from 11 to 12. Is that a Zoom meeting that other people can watch, or how is that going to be? I know I sent you an email, but I don't know if you saw it
Sure.
yet.
I'm sorry I did not. So it is just a working group of of CMAP, and so it isn't a public meeting. But yeah, that's about all I know about it.
Okay.
Sorry. I can send you that information tomorrow morning.
Yeah, no, I know you'd sent me the stuff earlier, but I didn't know if anybody else was interested. Because as I just want to get one plug in here, one of my absolute favorite aspects of this whole thing, of which there are many, but the one that will still always stick out to me is Tony's hard work in making sure that the school got involved and that the students had such a large part in making this happen. So I am always going to be indebted to Tony for really taking that on and making that Batavia stamp to the project.
Absolutely.
Very good point. I wholeheartedly agree with you, Alderman Callahan.
Hey, Laura,
Yes.
on Woodland Hills Road, when we redid this, we poured the new roadway, and they didn't take out the curbs, they buried the curbs, they were soft curbs. So we have a lot of damage done to people's lawns now from winter, and people drive on the lawns. Are we gonna fix all that this spring?
Because people's cars are leaving
Yeah, I
the
mean,
roadway.
Yes.
Yeah, there's like big crevices.
It's just,
huge
there's
one by your
ruts in it.
house.
It's a mess, all up and down Woodland Hills from Wilson all the way to Geesey, so.
Yeah.
I'll have Public Works take a look
Yeah,
at
I'm
that.
sure they're aware of it, I just want to make sure that it does get taken care of. I think it's going to become a maintenance issue for a long time to come. That's why we put in those reflectors now on the side of the road in the wintertime for the plows, but the plows sometimes miss them and go onto the people's lawns, tear up a little bit, right, or just,
I think it's
Beyond the
from people
curb.
parking. Yeah.
what's that?
I think it's from people parking and then they get
Parking, right,
one
is-
wheel at the curb and also on the grass and
Right.
they squish that grass down, so then it's,
And in some spots, it's worse than others, but it does need to be addressed.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
the one across from your house by the park it's really massive.
bad.
And that is an area right where the kids walk in to go play in the park. It's deep and it's long.
Okay, moving to 20, the committee reports, Public Utilities. Alderman O'Brien, do you have anything?
Nothing to report, Your Honor.
Okay, City Services, Alderman Wolf.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Just want to remind everybody to check the city website for different weeks for brush pickup and, make sure that when mowing your yard, especially as we start the mowing season, that we don't blow grass out into the street for all of us that ride motorcycles and bikes. We had our beautiful bike lanes on Prairie Street completely covered in grass last week. So I want to make sure that everybody knows that that is not legal to do in the state. You can't blow the grass out into the street and leave it there.
Very good point.
Thank you.
Okay, Community Development, Alderman Callahan.
Thank you. There are a couple items for some signed grants for Ziggy's Nail Spa and the new Windmill Grill and Pizzeria for tomorrow.
Okay. Government Services, Alderman Chanzit.
I know your report.
All right. We have other business from the city council?
Yes.
Your Honor,
Go ahead.
I have one thing, for anybody that's, so inclined. The Batavia football team will have its last, spring football game, on Saturday out at, Northern at Husky Stadium at 4:00.
Is it going to be viewable on BATV?
We'll be on BATV as well, so if you can't get out there, you can watch it on BATV.
Very good. Well,
Thank
thank you, Alderman Wolf, and thank you for the outstanding job you've done broadcasting this year with all the challenges of the different facilities and everything else you guys have had to do. You truly have become local professionals in broadcasting of sports events. So Batavia is very fortunate to have your team there telling us what's going on in the floors and the fields of Batavia High School. So thank you very much. Great job. Okay, moving to the mayor's report, as you may remember.
Can I bring up something? Yes, I had a couple citizens today, as a matter of fact, ask me about a community garden at the corner, at the junction of Hart Road and Prairie Path. Is that something that's going on right now? Or in the future?
I have no knowledge of it.
Yeah,
There-
I don't know anything.
It's a grassroots.
Yeah, we've been contacted by someone who is organizing a community garden, but it is not associated with the city or the park district. And I think the park district had sponsored that in the past, the community garden. So it's just a private effort by individuals.
Just a talking point, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
They'll be able to, there will be plots for rent that people can rent if they want to do a garden there.
Right.
There is a Facebook page. I think it's called Batavia Community Garden.
Yes, and I invited the individual to come speak to city council if she would like to, share
Michelle?
the idea.
Michelle?
I think it's Michelle. I don't
Okay.
remember.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, moving to the mayor's report, as you may remember, I raised the issue last meeting about what was going to be the legal way for Batavia and every other town. And I'm told that everybody's city attorney is being asked for an opinion on this. So Roman Sickle has sent me his, and I think it's just better let you explain it to the council what you found or your opinions are.
Yep, thank you very much, Mayor, and I do appreciate the little homework assignments you give me on occasion, so. So I was looking at this, and really, there's no clear answer, but from my analysis and talking with Kevin Drendel as well, given everything going on with the changes to the Open Meetings Act, with COVID and all that, there's no definite requirement that people who are newly elected in office take the oath in person. They could take it virtually. The part that the city will need to follow up on is, though, that when they do take that oath, that when they execute that oath does get filed with the municipal clerk, so that's on the record for the city itself. But the newly elected officials, they can take the oath either virtually or in person at the next meeting at their own preference, so.
Okay? Does everybody hear that so you understand? Because several told me they were waiting to hear what the opinion was before they made a decision. You know, the one challenge I think we may have here is that, as far as I know, this 25 people in the room for meetings is still in effect. Am I correct in that?
It is, except the CDC has said that vaccinated persons do not count toward the maximum number of people allowed in a facility. So long as there aren't 25 unvaccinated people, you're okay.
Well, I mean, I just think of, there are going to be 9 people sworn in next week individually, and if each one of them brought a friend or a husband or a wife or a cousin or neighbor or whatever, that's really quickly going to take us over the threshold of the group. Now, as it's been suggested to me on a number of occasions, there's nobody sitting out there waiting to arrest anybody for doing this, and it probably, the state's attorney doesn't want to fool around with that. So I think we have to be cautious and make sure that many of us though are fully vaccinated, so we probably could qualify that number, but,
Your Honor,
yes.
this is Alderman Wolf. If I could pose a suggestion here, if you wanted to, if people want to be sworn in City Hall chambers, we could have members of their family, we could line them up out in the hallways, they could all socially distance, and then as each individual new alderman was sworn in, they could have their family members come in at that time, so we wouldn't overload the chamber and be able to do it all in City Hall.
I think that's a well-taken point. We're not here to deprive anybody from not being here, so I think that would be one good way of handling it.
Yeah,
So
good
I don't think
suggestion.
this is gonna be a big deal.
No.
I'm led to believe in some of the towns where there's been more significant problems, not problems, but highly contested elections, that there's some microscopes in some other towns on how they're gonna do this and who's gonna show up and who isn't and whatever have you. So this may be a whole new moment of business for city attorneys area-wide as to what they are gonna tell people to do and not to do. But I'm inclined to totally follow Roman's advice here and march forward, and I think we can do it without much problem. So, anyway, that's the plan. So I think that'll be all my report for tonight, and I'd entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman O'Brien, second by Alderman Rosado. And are we still voting, or are we just adjourning the meeting?
Just the voice vote.
You want a
Voice vote.
And voice vote?
voice vote?
We're
Yeah, clerk,
doing
take
that
a-
on this.
All those in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
meeting stands adjourned. Thank you.